What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope all you're having a good day so far. So, we're back. Tyler Perry's Bruh on BET Plus. Season 1, Episode 16, She's Calling. We pick up literally right where we left off last week with Tom talking to the chief of medicine, and she basically was asking him, what does she have to do to sleep with him? And Tom was looking at her like, what? He was like, I can't believe you just asked me that question. She's trying to make it sound like she's talking about hypothetically or whatever, trying to make it seem like something that is not, but really it is. Because she talking about, so if a person, she said, say if a person outside the workplace wanted to sleep with you, what would you say to that answer? Like if they asked, what do they have to do to smash? What would your answer be? And he felt uncomfortable answering that question, but he asked, the way that she was asking the question made it seem like she was basically insisting that he answer. So he was like, it depends on the person. And she was like, wow, depends on the person. First of all, as chief of medicine, you shouldn't be asking your subordinate that question. That's totally out of line, and that's bordering on sexual harassment. That's why I feel like Tom should have recorded that conversation. That's definitely a conversation he should have recorded, because that chief of medicine, she trying to hit it. That's exactly what she tried to do. She trying to get him to smash, and she trying to make it seem like that's not what she asking. That is what you want to know. That is what you're asking. Don't try to sit there and play these little mind games, because that's exactly what she was trying to do. So when Tom left the office, he calls Mike, because as you know, Mike is the attorney. He's the lawyer. So Tom calls Mike, and he was like, yo, I need you to call me back ASAP. Some stuff just went down at work. I need to talk to you. So as he's hanging up, Valerie comes walking up. Now, for those that don't remember Valerie, she's the girl who lied and said Tom sexually harassed her and assaulted her, all this other mess. You know, put out all these lies against him. But then she told the boss the truth because they had a recording on her that proved that she was lying. So she walked up on Tom and was like, well, I told the truth. He said, yeah, I know. I was in the office with you when you said it. She talking about, well, aren't you going to thank me? Excuse me? Thank you? And Tom's stupid ass going to sit there and say thank you. Tom, why are you thanking this witch? She's the one. The only reason Valerie told the chief of medicine the truth was because they forced her hand. They backed her into a corner because they had a recording that proved, they had an audio recording that proved that she was lying. Because she even admitted on tape she was lying just to get back at him. Because after they slept together, after they had a one-night stand, he didn't want her. She wanted a relationship with him. He didn't want one. It was only just one night. It was just sex. That's all it was. So now you try to sit there and lie, try to ruin that man's reputation, ruin that man's good name, and lie on him, mess with his career, all because he didn't want you romantically. So the only reason she even told the truth was because they had a recording of her. That's the only reason she told the truth. And you expect this man to thank you? I would have smacked the shit out of Tom. Like, why are you thanking this broad? You don't owe her no thanks. If it wasn't for that recording, if they never recorded her, she would have never told the chief of medicine the truth. She would have ruined that man's career and his reputation and his name. She would have ruined his life had they not had that damn recording. So what the hell you sitting there thanking her for? You don't owe her no thanks. You don't owe her nothing but your ass to kiss. And I wouldn't even do that because she might like it with her crazy ass. The chick is crazy. Valerie is a nutcase. And she's sitting there telling Tom, oh, I'm not a bad person. He was like, I know. If you're not a bad person, then you wouldn't have did the shit that you did. You would have understood that it was just a one-night stand and move your ass on and go find somebody that wants to be in a relationship with you. That's what you should have did. Instead of trying to ruin somebody's life all because they don't want you. Like, yeah, that makes you look batshit crazy in my eyes. Like, you're nuts. So Tom pretended like he was getting a phone call from Mike. He was like, oh, my phone. Oh, I got to answer this. She was like, I didn't hear no phone ring. He said, yeah, it's on vibrate. Yeah, I like that part though, because that was some slick shit. He said, yeah, my phone on vibrate. So he picked up the phone acting like he talking to Mike or whatever, just so she could walk away. And as soon as she walked away, he hung up. Well, he got off the phone, his fake call, and he called Mike back again, got his voicemail, was like, bro, call me back. So we see why Mike is not calling him back, because Mike is at home with Pamela getting it in. They was having some good morning sex. And when I say some good morning sex, I mean some good morning sex. That's the type of sex that you see on Pornhub. Like, that was some pornography ass type sex they was doing. I was like, okay, Mike was working it out. I said, all right. Pamela fine though. Like, her breasts was just all out. She got some nice ass breasts. I'll say that much. She do. And then after they were done, they were just laying in bed, and she didn't even put the cover over her breasts. Like, she just got her breasts out. She just laying under the covers with her titties just out. I know damn well Tyler Perry happy as hell that he could get his shows on a streaming service, because you would never get none of this on no actual BET. Like on a network, The only way you're going to get some of this type of content is on a streaming service. That's the only way. Or if you go to Pornhub.com. That's the only way. But I was distracted because they were sitting there having a conversation. I'm just distracted because old girl just laying there with her breast out. I'm like, how does that not distract you from the task at hand and what they're talking about? So basically, Mike wanted to talk to her about last night and the fact that she said that she couldn't really commit to Mike because he would leave her bankrupt. Like, he would just break her heart or leave her bankrupt or whatever, emotionally. So they got into a serious conversation about that, and I loved it because even though they laying there butt booty naked, they still having this serious ass conversation. And she basically confided in Mike that she was engaged before, and her ex-fiance, she just felt like, you know, he was a great guy, but she felt she was not enough for him. And when he met her cousin, listen to this, he met her cousin and he broke off the engagement with her. Ain't that some shady shit? That's some dog ass shit right there. The cousin. So he messed around with her cousin and broke off the engagement to her. I said, damn. No wonder she got trust issues with men. And with Mike, she just feels like she can't fully commit to him because she don't trust him with her heart. You know what I mean? And she's basically trying to protect her emotions. She's trying to protect her heart, you know, so that way she don't get hurt again like she was before. Because she just feels like with a guy like Mike, she might not be enough for him. Because Mike is a player. He's a hoe. He likes messing around and all that. So she just don't want to go down that road if he's not serious about being with her. Because she basically felt like when Mike asked her to be his girl, to be exclusive with her, she felt like he wasn't serious because he was drunk. But Mike was like, yeah, I was drunk, but I knew what I was saying. Because she just want to see if he dead ass serious about being with her, like being in a real committed relationship, or was it all for talk and just to get her in bed or something. But he was like, no, it wasn't for show. It wasn't for talk. He was like, I'm serious. He was like, I want to be with you. But I think that she's going to need to see more action from him rather than his word, you know, because some people words are just hollow because, like I said, Mike is a hoe. So she need to see that he's dead ass serious. She don't want to hear that he's serious. She wants to see. And I can't blame her for that. You know what I mean? I definitely cannot blame her for that. Them actions got to speak louder than them words. But Mike, I do feel like I think drunk people speak sober minds. That's just how I feel. I always felt like when you're drunk and you start talking about some shit, I feel like you're being serious. Because you're saying things that you probably wouldn't normally say if you were sober because you're trying to hide it. But when you're drunk, them truths, listen, alcohol is like a truth serum. Because when people get drunk, they get chatty. They get chatty, all type of mess be coming out their mouth, and it be true too. All type of emotions, stuff that they want to say that they suppress when they're sober. When they get drunk, all that shit come out. They unsuppress that shit, and that shit just flows out their mouth. And they tell you the truth. That's why I always say a drunk person speaks a sober mind. And that's exactly what Mike was doing. He finally, because remember, like anytime Mike was sober, he never admitted to her that he wanted her. He would always play it off like, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to be with you. But when he see her with another man, he get all jealous. But now that he was drunk, he had some alcohol in his system, oh, he was talking that good shit. He finally admitted to her that, yeah, I want to be with you. I want you to be my woman. I want to be your man. I want us to be exclusive. I want us to be committed. That's why she had to ask him that question. Like, were you serious, or you were just saying that because you were drunk? But he was like, nah, I'm dead serious. He was like, I'm sober now, so I know what I'm saying. So I'm not mad at it. But then they started talking about like how she refuses to let a man have that much control over her again, like her ex-fiance and stuff. And Mike was laughing because he was like, this whole time we were sex buddies, basically, I thought I was in control. Like the when, the where, you know, controlling when they have sex, what time they have sex. And Pamela was like, no, I just made you think you were in control, but you really weren't. That shit was hilarious. So he got a phone call because Pamela was saying how easy he was, how easy Mike was. And Mike was like, what the hell you mean I'm easy? So that's when he got a phone call from Tom. And, you know, Tom wanted to talk to him about going over the bills or whatever to stop Bill from messing up Regina's wedding, because her wedding is today. And, you know, they had to go over there and deal with that. So when Pamela came out the bathroom, she all dressed and stuff. And Mike was like, where you going? She was like, well, shit, I got to, you know, I do have to work. I got to go to a wedding. I got stuff to do. This fool Mike told Pamela to quit her job. I was like, okay, Mike, you're doing too much now. I understand you want her to be with you and y'all want to be a couple and all lovey-dovey and whispering sweet nothings. I get all that, but ain't nobody about to quit their job. No. Nope. See, that's that control shit she talking about. Like, you sitting there telling her to quit her job. And quit her job to do what? Be up under you whenever you want her to be? No. So that's when he realized she was going to Regina's wedding. So he was like, oh, shit. So, speaking of Regina, she's sitting there at the church or whatever, in the room with her wedding gown on. She looked good. Regina looked good. And Miss Alice come up in there. Miss Alice looked fly with her little burgundy, what was it? Like a red burgundy type dress with her little fake fur on. I said, okay, Miss Alice. Miss Alice clean up nice. Miss Alice was actually surprised that Regina was wearing white, because she was like, ain't white basically like a virgin or purity or something, like you're pure? So she was like, yeah, you shouldn't have worn no white. So she kept messing around with Regina about the fact that she slept with Bill the night before and now she about to marry another man the next day. I was like, that is true. That is true. That is very stank of her. Regina definitely wants Bill. And she was worried because when Miss Alice was like, oh, so this wedding gonna be real interesting. So when she said the wedding, she felt like the wedding was gonna be interesting. Regina was like, please tell me Bill is not coming to this wedding. And Miss Alice wouldn't even answer the question. She kept dancing around the questioning. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna let you go ahead, get married. We'll talk later or whatever. Regina definitely wants to be with Bill, but she's choosing Peter to marry as a consolation prize. Because I feel like she's choosing him because she feels like Bill is not mature enough, or he's not really serious about marrying her. So she's choosing Peter because that's the safe choice. You know what I mean? And I think that's messed up. And I don't feel like it's fair to her. I don't feel like it's fair to Peter, because eventually this shit is going to come to the surface in their marriage as to really why she married him, because he's obviously not the one she really wants. That's pretty clear. So anyway, John, Tom, and Mike show up to Bill's. Bill got on one of Tom's old tuxedos, and that shit looked tight on him. And they're still trying to talk him out of going to this wedding, busting up this wedding. But Bill is excited about doing it. He even got himself a horse outside that he don't know how to ride. Like, Bill is dead ass about breaking up this wedding. And they were kind of mad because Tom didn't try to dissuade him. You know, Tom didn't try to talk him down from doing this. And Tom's whole thing is, Bill is grown, let Bill do Bill. I'm that type of friend. I'm the same way. I'll tell you what you need to hear, because I don't tell none of my friends what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, some friends, they want to hear, you know, what they want to hear, which is basically you saying, yeah, go ahead, go do that, go do that. Even though deep down you got a feeling like it's wrong. You know what I mean? But I tell my friends what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. But at the same time, I also tell them to do them. You know what I'm saying? Because you're grown. Do you. I don't control you. I ain't your parent. You know what I'm saying? I'm your friend. I'm going to tell you my opinion, but at the same time, I'm also going to tell you to do what you feel. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the type of friend I am. Do what the hell you got to do. Even if I don't agree with it, it is what it is. So Bill leaves, and they watching him out the window get on this horse ass backwards. He literally got on the back of the, like, he got on the horse backwards. I was like, Bill don't know how to ride that horse. And you got a stallion. You better learn how to ride that shit. And you about to go up in the church and mess up this girl wedding. I feel like this is going to be a disaster. This is not going to go the way Bill think it's going to go. Because one of two things are going to happen. He's going to go there. Regina may, be in awe of his grand gesture of showing up there on a wedding. I mean, on a horse to get her back. She might be, like, okay, he's showing me that he's serious. Or he's going to make a damn fool out of himself and she's going to reject him in front of a church full of people. I think option B is going to happen. Something telling me she might reject him. I could be wrong, and I hope I am, but I just don't see this going in Bill's favor. I really don't. But anyway, that's pretty much the whole episode, though. Hit the comment section and let me know what y'all thought. And I will see y'all all later. Have a good day. Peace.